here to present and to pitch to you the idea that maybe it's not their skill level that made them confident, it's a certain mindset that we can say is confident that helps them to progress to the level they're at today. Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. Today we're talking about confidence. Surprise! Specifically, I want to talk to you about one thing you absolutely need to stop doing right now if you want to build authentic confidence as a dancer. And when I say confidence, that really encompasses the feeling of being proud of yourself, feeling good enough, trusting in your abilities, feeling confident to actually go for things in class or celebrate what you're doing well. Confidence, in the way I think about it, it creates this nice umbrella effect where all these things that we want are beneath this umbrella. So let's talk about this thing. What I'm talking about today is the negativity bias. Yes, you're familiar with it. It's this bias towards looking at and holding on to and collecting negative information, perceived negative information. So what I mean by this is we can see it in the example of going through a dance class, and each time you do an exercise, you notice your mind immediately holding on to the thing that should have been better. You did it wrong. You didn't like the way it looked. The thing that you need to do differently next time. That's not always bad, but if you think of building confidence as having a bank account, a mental bank account in which you have plenty of positive information to outweigh the negative information, and the more positive information you have, that is of course going to lead to a greater sense of, yes, I have evidence that I can trust myself, that I can handle a challenge. And those sorts of belief systems lead to the feeling of confidence. I like this analogy. I got it from the book, The Confident Mind, which I highly recommend, of seeing your mind as a bank account. And specifically, if you want to build your confidence, shifting from observing yourself acting out that negativity bias of filtering through everything that just happened and holding on to, in your conscious awareness, the thing that you think didn't go well, that apparently defined it for you. Instead, you can consciously override that. And you can start to see each combination that you do, each class, each rehearsal, each performance as an opportunity to add to your confidence bank account. How do you do this? This is shifting from the negativity bias to creating a mental filter in which you are consciously filtering through what just happened and picking out some information that you can add to your mental bank account that leads to confidence. So some sort of information that you can start to filter through, collect, and hold on to instead is, what's one thing that you felt good about in that combination? What's one thing that came easily? What's something that you grew in compared to the last time you did it? What's something that you thought was pretty nice, like qualitatively or in the way it looked, maybe it felt nice? Hold on to that and count that as a win. And this step by step, moment by moment, choice by choice does start to compound, and it starts to become habitual, where instead of feeling like you're forcing yourself to focus on the positive, and you might think like, wait, Kirsten, does that mean I'm lying to myself? That's an interesting question that I hear a lot. A lot of people, when they start to prioritize focusing on celebrating what they've done well and actually internalizing that as evidence that they can, evidence that they're competent, that they can grow, that they do have something to offer, a lot of times people want to feel confident, but one really big obstacle is this question of, well, by focusing on that, am I becoming delusional about my abilities? Am I going to become lazy because I just think I do everything well? Am I just lying to myself, telling myself, oh, you're doing great, but you're actually not? These are understandable questions, but what I like to say to kind of flip it back around is, by holding on to mostly negative information on a consistent basis, what you're actually doing from a psychological perspective is you are causing your mind to store and hold on to all of this information that paints a certain picture a certain picture that you're not good enough. It creates evidence to fuel certain belief systems like you'll always be behind, you don't really have anything of value to offer as a dancer, you're not really that good, whatever it is. In the way that I see it, those are really just stories that have started to feel very true because of the habitual pattern of holding on to negative information that fuels those belief systems and gives them an experiential grounding. One way that you start to shift that and believe more positive things about yourself, it's not about lying to yourself, it's actually about balancing things out and recognizing like, oh my gosh, I so often hold on to the information that fuels my negative belief systems. What if I went back and started to prioritize holding on to information that actually was just as true, I just thought it wasn't useful or important, or I just felt I wasn't worthy of celebrating that because I have so much further to go. And a lot of times what is so powerful about this technique is we start to realize that we are actually doing things better than we think, or at least well, and we're actually growing all the time. We just don't focus on it. We don't look for that information. So then therefore we don't perceive it. So we don't think it's happening. So if you're going to tell me that it's lying to yourself or becoming delusional to focus on the negative, I would actually pitch the opposite story, that you're actually lying to yourself if that's primarily what you're holding on to, because there's a much bigger picture of what's going on in your life, which is that you're constantly learning and growing, you're constantly trying new things, taking action, you're constantly making things that were once hard easier, you're constantly in the midst of a combination doing things well, and we often just focus on the 2 or 3 things that we're like, oh my gosh, that should have been different, and we're focusing on that small subset of the entire picture and saying, no, that's reality. But is it? Hey dancers, I hope you're really enjoying the video. I just want to briefly remind you that the Confident Dancer Collective, my group coaching program, is closing for enrollment soon. So I want to invite you to consider enrolling, because truly, if you've been watching my videos and resonating with this content, and you've been noticing that it's your mind that really is one thing that's holding you back from performing your best and feeling confident and good about yourself when you're dancing, then I really believe that this course will be a great next step for you. In this course, you'll learn all of the tools that I think every dancer needs to know, the psychological tools, frameworks, and techniques that you can use to control your mental state to help you perform your best under pressure, build confidence that's real, a knowledge of what you have to offer, and this feeling that you really know how to mentally support yourself to consistently perform your best and also feel your best as a human as you dance. So I encourage you to click the link down below to learn more about all that the program includes and apply today. Get in on this round, you won't want to miss it. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or a DM on Instagram. All right, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the video. The truth is, every single person that you look at and you think, oh, they're really confident, every dancer that you think, oh, they're really confident, a lot of times what I actually believe is that this isn't true 100% of the time, but oftentimes what I've seen is that their confident attitude helps them to accelerate in their progress. It's a very resourceful, helpful state of being that helps you to take more action, feel motivated, feel empowered enough and worthy to stand in the front, to go for it, to take a risk. Those things add up and create growth. And so we often see that person's growth and where they're at in their dancing and say, oh, they're confident because they dance like that. Sure, there are examples of that out there, but I also know very, very competent dancers that aren't confident. So it's not just skill level that makes people confident. I am here to present and to pitch to you the idea that maybe it's not their skill level that made them confident, it's a certain mindset that we can say is confident that helps them to progress to the level they're at today. Again, maybe that's not true 100% of the time, but what I've observed in years of being a dancer and now years of being a mindset coach for dancers is that that is often a trait, a mental trait of dancers that we would label as successful. So why not you? You are doing plenty of things that are good, that are worthy of celebration. And just like these dancers who we put on a pedestal and we think, oh, they look like this, so they're confident, they still make mistakes too. They still have things to work on too. But are they constantly ruminating on those things? Are they constantly holding on to those little bits of information as evidence to fuel the belief that they're not good enough, not going anywhere, can't break through, can't change? Probably not. And again, there are all sorts of examples out there of all sorts of dancers with different skill levels who either embody confidence or they don't, but that is a pattern that I've seen. So I just want to put that out there. Again, stop holding on to this negativity bias and instead start holding on to focusing on and consciously thinking about, even speaking, that actually went well. That was an improvement. Yes, this was good. Focus on that. Don't worry. You still have a mirror in front of you. You still have a teacher probably giving you corrections. So no, I really don't believe you will become delusional or lazy. Try it and see how the elevated mood that might create, this pattern might create, habit, action, see how that elevated mood actually helps you dance better, and then you'll have more to celebrate. Try it out. This is just one of many tools I love sharing with dancers that I work with individually and in group settings. So if you'd like to learn more and really dive deeper into actually changing habits and patterns like this, changing the negativity bias, letting go of negative beliefs about yourself, and letting go of the mental blocks that have been holding you back, then definitely reach out. This is all what I specialize in as a mindset coach for dancers. So you don't have to stay stuck if you don't want to. Hopefully you don't want to. So reach out for support. Change is absolutely possible. All right, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.